Right, okay, so part 3 coming up. It's really getting the arse kicked out of it, isn't it? Right, so injectors back into the fuel rail, as you can see there. So we just got it all covered up nicely there. What we're going to do is fire the bike up and obviously see if it's if we're getting that misting coming out of the injectors like we should be. If it's not coming out, if it's just dribbling out, there's obviously a pressure problem. Now that could be the pump, or it could be before the pump, which is the fuel pressure regulator, which obviously does what it says on the tin, regulates the fuel coming out. So on this part, this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be firing up and seeing where we go from there. Like I say, the injectors have all been cleaned out, so we know they're good. We know they're not blocked. And the fuel rail is the fuel rail. It's kind of a hollow tube, and the pressure goes into it, and just the solenoid gets opened up in the injectors. Bang, there we go, and introduce a spark, and the engine's running. So let's see where we're at with it, and we'll go from there. So yeah, brilliant. Stay with it. So I'm just going to switch it on. So hopefully you picked that up. Now, from what I can see, it is spitting, but obviously that's not enough to ignite it and fire it up. So it's clearly something's not right. Well, clearly. We've gone through the process of cleaning all the varnishing off the jets, both ends, flushed it through with injector clean. Happy with that. Happy with they're doing the job they need to do. Okay, back to the drawing board as such. Okay, drops for the boys. Okay, right, so what we're going to do now. Okay, so we know there's only a spit of fuel coming out of the injectors there. So clearly it's not doing what it should be doing. There's not enough fuel being forced through to start the engine. Okay, so working our way backwards now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the fuel supply off the end of the fuel rail here, a couple of 8mm bolts there, and I'm going to place that in over the frame here into a jar or a container, because obviously what I'm looking to do when I turn the ignition on and it primes the pump, apparently there should be like a constant flow of fuel go through the pipe. Okay, so which indicates, or should indicate, that the pump is working okay. So that's the theory, so we're going to put that into practice, see what happens. Okay, so I'm just going to take this off. Inside there, it's just it just pops in basically another O-ring there just to seal everything up anyway. So just anticipating a little bit of, because there is a bit of fuel build up in there anyway, so just anticipating a bit of spillage there. But like I say, undo that, flop it over the frame into a container, and we'll go from there. Should have just used that to start with, really, shouldn't I? There we go. Quite a bit of fuel in there, by the looks of it as well. Right, okay, so this is my this is all some old fuel out of the tank. Excuse me. Not to be used again, probably to be used for making fires. Okay, anyway, fuel line. I've just got it resting on top, just so we can hopefully catch this on video. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. Now, I'm just going to prime it to start with, and you should see it load up, theoretically, the fuel rail. So I'm just going to switch it on now. Okay, so it pushed fuel through. Should be able to see now, okay? Now what I'm going to do is, because I can't quite see this, so I'm going to start it and see if it's actually, the pump is actually pushing fuel through. That looked like it was forcing fuel through. So, which indicates that the pump's working. So what the bloody hell's going on? I'm going to get the fuel rail off next, I think. Just have a look here, because again, when we come to this part, I'm stumped again. So I'm going to have to ask a few more questions, look into it. Okay, alright, bear with. Right, okay, so I just thought I'd add this video in just to explain the process before we go into part 4 of the this debacle, shall we say. Now, obviously the fuel line's been cut in half, the pressure tester's been put in between, and then we'll get that back on the bike, and we'll obviously go through the process again and see what's happening there. So that will be part 4, and hopefully that will be the final part. So stay tuned, and we'll get there in the end.
Stopping me.